Okay, so today kita akan continue with chapter 2, which is about uniform flow in open channel. Okay, if you see in this slide, uniform flow in open channels. So our target today is to complete chapter 2.1 and also 2.2. Okay, so if you see here, okay, dalam this topic, okay, today apa yang kita akan belajar tentang resistance of flow formula and also about how to determine the normal depth by various methods. Okay, right, sebelum ni, I explain to you about the types of the channels and then also the channel characteristic. Okay, so in that chapter 1 also, I also explain to you about the types of flow. Okay, so today, okay, dalam type of flow tu ada uniform flow and non-uniform flow. So today apa yang kita nak belajar ialah tentang uniform flow. So again, okay, kita kena ingat, recall balik definition of uniform flow. Okay, uniform flow ini ialah the depth, flow area, velocity at every cross section are constant. Okay, kalau you tengok dekat sini, okay, apa yang saya tuliskan dekat sini, kita boleh tengok kedalaman, flow area dan velocity at every section are constant. Maksudnya dia punya ketinggian air, okay, kelajuan air dan juga cross section. Okay, bila kelajuan air depth, kedalaman air dia dekat every section itu adalah sama, maka flow area juga akan sama. So bila dia sama dan seragam or consistent, we call it uniform flow. Okay, ini adalah uniform flow. Uniform flow maksudnya at every section, the flow depth, the flow area and also the velocity are constant at every section. And then if you see here, energy grid line, water surface and channel bottom are parallel. Okay, kalau you tengok sini, SF equals to SW equals to SO. Di mana your SF is a slope energy grid line, okay, SW is slope of water surface and SO is slope of the channel bed. Okay, kalau you tanya dekat mana slope of energy grid line, okay, slope of energy grid line ni duduk dekat atas ni. So slope dia ke atas ni lah. Okay, dia punya slope ni sama. Okay, alright, sama dengan slope of water surface. Okay, water surface ialah paras permukaan air. Okay, and then, okay, channel bed, okay, channel bed ialah dekat bawah ni. Okay, so maksudnya, okay, slope dia, okay, theta slope, kalau you tengok kat sini maksudnya, slope untuk channel bed adalah sama or parallel dengan water surface dan juga energy grid line. Okay, so in general, uniform flow can occur only in a very long, straight and prismatic channel. Okay, so normally uniform flow ni berlaku bila kita ada satu channel yang sangat panjang, straight dan prismatic. Okay, alright. Itu maksudnya uniform flow. Okay, right. So now we want to know or we want to learn about the resistance of flow formula. Okay, so to calculate the flow, okay, kita boleh gunakan Chesney formula and also Manning formula. Okay, there are two types of resistance equation that we can use for in uniform flow. Alright, okay, the first one. Okay, kalau you tengok yang first one ni ialah Chesney formula. Okay, Chesney formula, kalau you tengok dekat sini, this is a Chesney formula. Right? The Chesney formula stand for, dia adalah untuk mengira velocity, which is average velocity, is equals to the coefficient C square root Rs. R is a weighted parameter and the S is a slope of energy grid line. And there are no units for this slope of energy grid line, which is dimensionless. Okay, tidak ada unit. Okay, for hydraulic radius, the unit is in meter. Or maybe if in what we call it imperial unit, it was in inch. Okay, boleh dalam inci. Alright. Okay, average velocity, unit dia adalah meter per second or inch per second. Okay, right. So now, kalau you tengok this cheesy formula, okay, for the slope and R, we can find from the question. So normally, if we know the types of the channel, we can calculate the R. And then if they give the conditions of the channel, we also can find the value of slope. But for C is a Chazy coefficient. Okay, coefficient Chazy. So this Chazy, kalau dia tidak bagi, if not given in your questions, we can calculate this value C by using GK formula and benzene formula. Okay, so Chazy formula ni untuk kita kira velocity. Okay, formulanya ialah V equals to C square root RS. Okay, if you see this formula, okay, you can calculate the velocity. Boleh kira velocity bila kita ada R dan juga S. R ni depends to the types of the channel. Okay, because kita tahu R ni formula dia ialah A over P. So to get A over P is depend to the type of the channel, formula dia. Kalau trapezoidal, okay, formula untuk A over P lain. Kalau rectangular pun lain. Kalau combination macam ni, dia akan jadi lain. Okay, alright. For S is depend to the slope. Dia normally akan bagi dalam question. But for C, kalau tak bagi, we can use GK formula and benzene formula. Okay. So if you see here, okay, you tak perlu bimbang because if you have you need to calculate using this formula. Okay, so you can refer the formula. Normally kita akan bagi formula ataupun you boleh refer notes. Kita tak perlu nak memorize, but you just need to understand. You tak perlu hafal, but you need to understand because if you see here, GK formula ni ialah to find or to calculate the C. So what is the use of C? C, we want to calculate the value of C because we want to put in the Chazy formula. Chazy formula again, V is equals to C square root RS. So this C ni, okay, this C, kita boleh calculate using GK formula. Okay, so you need to understand if the questions give you in the imperial unit, you refer this formula. Kalau in the questions given in SI unit, you use this formula. Okay, SI unit ni yang meter second. Kalau imperial unit, inch second, length. Yang length tu dalam inch. Okay? Kalau dalam meter is SI unit. Okay? Alright. So, maksudnya you kena understand soalan tu given dalam is it imperial unit or SI unit. Kalau SI unit, refer yang bawah. If in imperial unit, refer yang atas. So if you see here, in this C formula also have N and juga S. So S is the slope, N is the types of the channel. So dia roughness, dia akan bagi given dalam question. And also have R. R is based on types of the channel which is A over P. Ini untuk dapatkan R. Okay? Right. Another one, okay. Selain daripada GK formula, you also can use benzene formula to calculate your C. Okay? If you see this benzene formula, we also have in imperial unit and also in SI unit. Again, you need to understand your questions, given questions. If the questions, all the units given in the question are in imperial unit, so you refer this formula. But if the question is in SI unit, you use this one, the below one. Okay? Alright, so this formula also have N and R. So R ni ialah A over P, depends to the types of the channel. And M ini ialah dia punya roughness ataupun types of the description of the channel. Okay, contohnya, okay, kadang-kadang dia bagi value, kadang-kadang dia minta you refer table. So the question must give a clear figure ataupun clear description about that channel. So let's say it said that a very smooth cement channels, a rectangular cement channel. So you use benzene formula is 0.11. Kalau dia kata earth channels in a perfect condition, you use M is 1.54. Okay, so I think this is a very clear one. Okay. Selain daripada Chesi formula, okay, another formula that we use to calculate the resistance of flow for uniform flow ialah Manning formula. Okay, so formula Manning ni memang selalu dipakai. Okay, kita tengok sini most widely used in all uniform flow formula. Okay, so Manning formula ni untuk kita kira discharge ataupun kita boleh gunakan juga Manning formula ni untuk dapatkan velocity. How you can get your velocity? Okay, Q is equals to AB. So from this formula, if you want to get your V, okay, katakan kalau you nak V, so V will be Q divided by A. Okay? Maksudnya, bila you dah dapat Q nanti, you nak dapatkan V, you divide saja dengan A. Okay? Atau you bawa siap-siap A ni bawa pergi sini. So your V, okay? Ataupun if you want to get only V, okay, you boleh calculate macam ni. Q divided by A equals to 1 over N. R 2 over 3 slope 1 over 2. Ni. Okay, A ni kita dah bawa pergi sini. So you can get your velocity. Okay, so this is a Manning formula. If you see Manning formula here, okay, Q ialah discharge. Okay, Q adalah discharge, flow discharge. Unitnya adalah meter cube per second. So this one for SI unit. So ini adalah untuk imperial unit. Formula untuk imperial unit. Okay. A and R is depend to the types of the channels. S is a slope. Okay, slope. Right. N is depend to the characteristic of the channels. Macam benzene tadi. Okay, roughness dia. So, okay, this is the table examples, tables depends the types of the channel. Let's say the material of the channel is kalau you tengok situ, this is a gravel channel. So your Manning N is 0.029. So depends. You kena tengok soalan, questions. If it said clean and straight channels, okay. So you need to use the Manning value is 0.030. Okay. Kalau dalam question dah bagi N is equal to 0.001, just use that value. Okay. So, faktor yang affect this Manning coefficient ni, yang memberi kesan kepada this, yang mempengaruhi Manning coefficient N, okay, so this is the factor. Okay, ia bergantung kepada surface roughness, kalau you tengok sini, channel regular, channel alignment, size and shape of the channels, suspended material and juga bed load. Okay, so ini adalah